You put a 2-year-old child in a crib with a bunny rabbit and an apple? Let me know when the child eats the bunny rabbit and plays with the apple.
Welcome to the Cannabis Vegan. I'm Jason Logan. On today's show,
we're going to be looking at the 2016 Cannabis Entrepreneur Summit, where we'll be diving a bit deeper into the cannabis aspect that has helped so many, as well as hearing a bit from Max Simon, the CEO of Green Flower.
This and more from the Cannabis Vegan.
But I notice you have clothes on, and I notice that you have a cell phone and you have a computer. It is unfair to pick one thing that lions do that you want to mimic when you don't want to mimic anything else they do. When lions walk up and greet each other, they sniff each other's ass. When I came in this room, you did not kneel down and sniff my ass.
Well guys, welcome back to the Cannabis Vegan. We're here. Today is the big day, the first day of the Cannabis Entrepreneur Summit of 2016. I'm very excited, guys. I have a lot to store. We have a lot to show today, and I'll be covering a lot more than just this today as well. There'll be other news down the pipelines, a lot of Cannabis Vegan news, as well as new products that are coming out for 2016 that I've still not quite seen. Most of it has come out, but we're still seeing a little bit trickle out here and there. I thank you guys for coming in today and joining me on the Cannabis Vegan as we watch live the 2016 Cannabis Entrepreneur Summit. Very excited, guys. Stay tuned for more from the Cannabis Vegan.
My mom. People like my grandparents, my parents.
Some of my professional colleagues probably don't know. It's nothing that I've hidden, but some things just don't come up.
Most people in my life don't know.
Coming here and sharing about this openly could embarrass them.
I'm afraid that people will see me as less professional.
That parents would feel that I'm an irresponsible parent.
Despite it being more and more open, you still try to keep it a secret from your elders.
I didn't want people to judge or think differently of me or my capacity to do my job because of that.
If there's judgment, it's definitely coming from a place of not understanding and thinking in terms of stereotypes. Loser comes to mind.
Lazy, unproductive, airhead.
That it would ruin your life.
Willing to break the law to have some fun.
Living life without really caring about what life is like.
You know what, I think, or I hope, let me put it that way, I hope that they would see how happy we are and how much we're doing with our lives, and maybe question, like, maybe I should smoke some marijuana. maybe that's the thing that's missing.
But let's not talk about it, because marijuana, you know?
My partner has lived for many decades with epilepsy, and once he started using the medicine, he probably had only one seizure in the last 5 years. I mean, how amazing is that?
Cannabis is just one way that helps me unlock a new perspective. And it's helped me connect dots. It's helped me have epiphanies.
Cannabis relaxes me. I tend to be a type A, overachieving type person. It just dampens me down a little bit.
It has inspired me in so many ways that I can't even fathom.
It allows me to be more compassionate, to see things from other people's points of view.
You know, is that weird? That I'm all for it, and yet I still feel nervous about talking about it.
I'm Dr. Ann Austin.
My name is Mark-Angelo Coppola.
Darina Stoyanova.
Cam Adair.
I'm Adam, and this is the love of my life, Melinda.
Today we are coming out green.
I'm coming out green.
Today I'm coming out green.
And I'm coming out green.
Today I'm coming out green.
I'm coming out green.
I'm coming out green.
I hope that we can dispel any negative ideas about cannabis, and if it's something that can benefit us, we need to learn to accept that.
I firmly believe that on any issue that we care about, it's important that we each take responsibility and speak up, because the voices together, that's how we can make some real noise and really make a shift.
All right, guys. Well, we have less than about 30 seconds left. Grab your vaporizers. Grab your Cannabis Vegan. Grab your food, your amazing green juice, and maybe even your cannabis tea, because we are about to begin the first ever live Cannabis Entrepreneur Summit of 2016. And I'll be covering it, guys. The Cannabis Vegan is here. If you guys have any questions or concerns, please comment down below, subscribe, and share with friends and family. Because the more that we show what cannabis really does, what we can really express to others and really show what the Cannabis Vegan has already done for myself and so many others, then we can begin to see. Thank you, guys, and here we go with Max Simon of Green Flower.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, everyone. Depending on where in the world you are watching this from, I want to welcome you to the 2016 Cannabis Entrepreneur Summit. Are you guys glad to be here? So for you at home, the thousands and thousands of you watching, welcome. We're so happy to have you here. These next few days are going to be a remarkable event. And before we dive in, I figure it's probably worth just sharing, why are we even doing this, right? And so to do that, I figured I'd just tell you a little story. So first off, because I know when I go to these cannabis events, I'm always like, are they really a part of the tribe? And let me just start by saying, I've been a cannabis user for 2 decades. I've been using it on almost a daily basis as something that really supports me medicinally, spiritually, therapeutically in my life. So that said, I'm also a very deep lover of entrepreneurship. And so when I started looking into the cannabis space after my history, I realized that the world is waking up to cannabis, right? Hundreds of millions of people around the world are starting to say, you know what? There's something real here. There's something of deep value here. And so you have one part of the population, one part of the globe that's like really getting turned on, right? But then you have this really funky history, right? You have what, about 100 years, maybe more, of propaganda, of misinformation, of just like pure badness, right? And so you have another part of the world that is, in their minds, in their consciousness, really opposed to this idea. Or they think that it's something that it's not, right? So you have these two camps. What an interesting paradox we have in this world, right? Devout, die-hard lovers. And then you have real intense people against it. So to me, when I looked into this space, I saw, there's an interesting problem to solve there. And to give you a little background, I used to run a guy named Deepak Chopra's business, products business, spiritual teacher, self-help author. And I was there about a decade ago. And it's funny to say this, but only a decade ago, meditation was definitely not cool. I grew up with a meditation room in my house, and people were like, do not go to that wing of the house. That is the weird part of the house, right? And it was like the most bizarre thing. But it wasn't that long ago that meditation and yoga and being a vegetarian, like, do you remember how stigmatized that was? So, you know, my Deepak and my father and this whole cast of characters, we knew that we had something good. We knew that we had something of genuine value, right? That these tools, these practices, these ways of being were good. And at the same time, we knew that there was a lot of miseducation out there. So what's needed? What's needed is to actually change the story in people's consciousness, right? We have to go in there and rewire things. So how do you do that? There's two ways to do that. You do that with great education. You teach people the truth, the facts, the science, the ways of doing it. You go and you actually change the way that they approach this thing. And then secondly, people. You bring together better and better people, higher and higher level people, more and more credible people. You change the image of who does it. So I looked into cannabis and I thought to myself, I have 2 decades of love and experience with this plant. I also had quite a bit of my own guilt and my own shame in it, right? I'm very aware of that. And that we see there's this unbelievable desire for people to want to learn, and there's an unbelievable need for people to learn as well. So we started Green Flower to fill that. And what we're doing here is bringing you the people that represent the positive elements of this plant, that represent the pure motivation to do something good in the world. And we're educating you. We're giving you education so that you can be better representatives, better stewards, better examples of possibility for this plant. But here's the cool thing. We are on the tipping point of one of the greatest revolutions in health, in business, in entrepreneurship around this plant, around cannabis. The smart people, the people who step forward now, the people that get educated now, the people that step to be leaders now, those are the ones that will not only make the greatest impact, but will also create the greatest wealth, right? And so this summit is really about helping to prepare you now and for what's coming next. And you should know that this is just one part of what we do here at Green Flower, right? Our mission, if you will, is to find the world's best experts and to help you package that knowledge into ways that you can enjoy and understand and get value from. And you should know that when we started looking into this space, we realized that there's really 3 areas where people have the strongest desires to learn. There's around the health side, right? I mean, I don't know how many people in this room or how many people watching truly believe that cannabis is a wellness product. But I can promise you that it is, as somebody who has a direct daily experience with this plant. In fact, there's even people in my family that when I started this, they were like, "You're doing what?" Wait, my meditator, my alternative health, you're going into cannabis? Right? It didn't make sense. And those same people are now using it to sleep. Those same people are now using it for pain. Those same people are now using it for mood elevation. Those same people are using it topically, right? And so health is one of the most important aspects of this plant. For us to learn how to use it in a way that supports our health and well-being, to create an industry that propels that forward, and to represent it ourselves. Truth be told, I was talking to my physical trainer the other day, and my physical trainer, when I first started working with him, he had this thing called Margarita Night, and it was like his favorite night of the week. It was like Margarita Night was what he lived for. And, never had anything against cannabis, but just wasn't really part of his world.